Jillian Mayen here for BTN.com alongside Jon Crispin and taking a look at the report cards for Big Ten hoops and taking a look at Wisconsin. Wisconsin 2-1 in the Big Ten. They just lost their first Big Ten game. 13-3 overall, though. Pretty impressive what Wisconsin has been able to do this season. So when you look at Wisconsin and the Badgers and what they've been able to do, are you surprised at all, or was it just they were going to be one of these top teams that you just knew was going to be clicking?
Yeah, I think you trusted what this team does well, and Greg Gard knows what they do well, and they focused on developing throughout the course of the summer. They've gotten a lot better together. Greg Gard took over this program and reinstated the swing offense. And it takes time, and yes, it's a cohesive unit, yes, it's experience, but it takes time to get back into, no pun intended, the swing of things, and get to your other options and your counters within that offense. It's something they didn't do last year. But you knew with an offseason, you knew with a fall to get ready, they were going to be much better. You have 5 starters coming back. There's chemistry, there's cohesiveness. They understand how to defend and not give up easy baskets. So it's going to be hard to beat this team. The problem for them is always going to be scoring when they need to score. And they don't really limit possessions. I got to be careful how I say this. They're not limiting possessions. They want to be aggressive, but they value every possession to a point where they get good shots. If that's the case and you get down 10 points, 12 points, 15 points, that might as well be a 25-point game for other teams. So it's a tough team to get down if you're a Wisconsin fan. You can't have this team get down. They have to be consistent and always stay in the game within 1, 2, 3, or 4 possessions. They got down against Purdue, and you saw how they struggled to get back in the offense.
What have you seen from Nigel Hayes? I think a lot of the preseason hype was surrounding him, and he's certainly been one of the more vocal players throughout his career. So what have you seen from him this season, and what does he need to do to keep getting the Badgers where they need to be as the season progresses?
He needs to be the catalyst for everything, and it's not just facilitating, making plays, and scoring. He's got to be the catalyst for energy on that team. He's got to cut harder than everybody else because he's going to demand attention on the offensive end. Defensively, he needs to be in position to lead everyone else. It needs to be him first because of how vocal he is, because of how outgoing he is, because he's out in the media, because he's a poor college student who's just looking to get money, which if you look into it, that's a great story.
Oh, yeah.
That kid donated $10,000+. Yeah. I mean, there's way more to it, so I'm not knocking it. But if you're going to be that vocal, if you're going to be that outspoken, you've got to lead in every sense of the way on the floor. You've got to be the first one back on defense. You've got to make great passes, pick everybody up when they get down. You've got to be the leader on the bench. So his body language has to be perfect. It's one of those things where when you see guys be outgoing, when you see guys be vocal, I look at it and go, careful.
Right.
That's a huge responsibility.
You can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk?
Yeah, and walking the walk is way more than just playing a good basketball game here or there. It really is in the locker room, off the floor. It's everything. And he needs to be the catalyst for all positive behavior for this team because he is the star, and he is the most vocal guy possibly in the Big Ten.
All right, Jon, thank you so much. For more Wisconsin news, highlights, and analysis, head to btn.com/Badgers.